Hello there and welcome to Tea Time, the program that brings you up to date, up to speed and up to the minute in entertainment news. So we've got the latest, the hottest and the juiciest entertainment stories right here on Plus TV's Tea Time. It's the morning edition and I'm Tukumbo Taiwo. As always, I'm not alone. Here with me in the studio are my co-anchors, the super duper stylish Lakpe Banjo and the ridiculously outspoken Ife Oshinkeye. Hi guys.
Hello.
What's up, Tukumbo? Oh,
You were miles away. You were miles away there, weren't you?
Miles away. How are you?
I am good. You were thinking about what I said, or probably not.
Yeah, I was actually just letting it simmer. Yeah.
Ife, what do you have to say about the way I described you?
Well, I think it fits my description.
All right then,
good.
both of you are pleased. Now, before we bring you today's stories, let me quickly say that I'm really excited about today's show because we've got a studio guest. Yes, we do indeed. She's an award-winning actor and an entrepreneur, radio and TV personality, and dare I say, Afrocentric, play on words there, Afrocentric slay queen, although she's not in an Afrocentric matter today. She's in a Western, so let's say Western slay queen today. And with over 55,000 followers on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you the tasteful, the talented, and the tremendous Tomike Alayande. Hello.
What an intro.
You're speechless.
I wasn't ready for that
You weren't
one.
ready.
When you said 55,000, I'm like, huh? Really? Where?
You don't even check.
Honestly, like,
So
that was awesome.
let's start from that. Do you not have 55,000 followers?
I do. I am.
55.
Yes. I mean, it keeps growing every day, and
Exactly.
I'm like, what? Where are these people coming from? But it's amazing, and I love
But
it.
it's good to have you on the show. Thank you so much for
Thank
honoring
you.
our
It's a
invitation.
pleasure.
And let's start from the rock on your hand. You know, congratulations indeed. Are you blushing? Show it to the camera, please.
Thank you.
So,
But it's still it. Let me just.
okay, I've done the intro. I will let my guys take over.
I'm scared of Ife. I mean,
You're
you said
scared?
very outspoken.
Oh,
I'm like,
really?
God, am I safe?
Don't be scared of me. First, I'd just like to start with, stop acting like a baby girl. Let's go and get some food.
That's throwing it way back.
Yes, now let's start from that place. Let's start
Okay.
from the beginning before we get to the future, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so acting is a big part of your career, and I think that's even blew you to the limelight real fast,
Yes,
right?
it did.
So that role in Jenifa's Diary, Tanya, I don't know, how did you get into that role? Because I checked up about you, and then I've been seeing you do all this girly, pretty
You're like,
slave
how?
queen, and I'm like, how did she diversify from this beautiful, calm young lady to someone that is calling someone to
drug
let's go and
addict.
get some food?
I can
And food, by
imagine.
the way, is drugs. I don't know what you guys were doing, though.
Yeah, to be honest, I never expected it.
So how did you get in that character?
Even to start with, acting was never my thing. Like, it wasn't like something I always set out to do. It was always presenting. And there was this roommate of mine in school back then. She was very outspoken. Like, she was literally like the younger version of Auntie Funke Akindele. And I was always encouraging her because I always like people around me to, you know, like hustle and stuff. Like, I can't be the only one moving forward and stuff. So I'm like, you should always try to go for auditions and all that. So then we just saw the Jenifa's Diary audition on social media, and I told her about it, and she was like, I'm not going, only me will go. I'm like, okay, don't worry, I'll follow you just so that you can go. And she said, okay, no problem, she would come. And then I now thought of it, why would I go and sit down with someone else for how many hours waiting for just to push the person to the person's limelight and all that. And I just said, okay, let me audition as well. So funny thing was, I got there before her. I think she had classes that day. So then when she was about coming, they had stopped letting people come in. So I just told her that they weren't letting people come in and everything. She was like, she's not coming again, that the place is even far and all that. So I just waited because I'm like, how will I be here from morning to, and people were so many. And that was it. I just did the audition, and I think the next day or 2 days after they called me, I'm like, are you joking? Like, I mean, even what they asked me to act at the audition was, I think they asked me to cry or something, like maybe my mother died, God forbid. And when I told my mom, she was like, oh wow, so it's me they used to. And you know, I'm very good with tears. I'm sure you saw that one from the proposal.
Yes, the proposal, yes.
So that was how I got in, and even the character as well. Like, Auntie Funke is a very diverse person, such that when she wrote the script and told me, oh, you're playing Tanya, she literally acted Tanya for me. Like, she's that diverse. She was like, so, you know, someone that is a joy, you just do it. And I just literally took instructions from her, and it just
So it's not like you had some private lessons of your own.
So that was it basically. And from there, I mean, acting is something that literally puts you out there more easily. And if you're into something like the entertainment industry, you have to look for several ways to put yourself out there. So, and I realized it wasn't so bad after all. So,
what do you think was your biggest challenge, you know, kind of emerging into the acting scene?
The timing, actually. At times, you'll be on set from morning, you might not shoot till midnight, and you'd have been there since like 7 a.m. And I noticed like that's how it is with acting at times. Although, yes, they could work out your schedule, but you know, when you're just starting up and stuff like that, you can't really dictate, I'm not available for this, I'm not available for that. So the timing was kind of difficult back then, bless you, darling.
Thank you.
And, you know, trying to shuffle it with TV, presenting, it wasn't so easy, but I found a way around it. I'm a hustler, so I just had to, yes. So that's basically all, the timing.
And what would you say is your favourite character? What would acting, in terms of acting? I mean, you mentioned that, you know, the scene that you had in Jenifa's Diaries. By the way, I'm a big fan of Jenifa's Diaries.
Aww.
But I mean, I think the character that you were in Jenifa's Diaries is not something that you typically are. So what would you say is something that you're a lot more comfortable and natural in acting in?
A very sweet girl. I'm a sweet girl now.
That suits your personality.
Yes, it does. And basically, that would be the character I'm very comfortable
So apart from acting, you're involved with a lot of other stuff. Like you just got a new endorsement. Tell us about that.
That's one
You couldn't wait to share that with us. You even give us suspense. I'm about to announce something.
And you know, the funny thing was this. I mean, even the shoot for the endorsement, it happened a while back. But you know, like we have to like shoot and all that, take pictures and everything before we now finally release it. The shoot was supposed to be on the day I got proposed to, apparently. But luckily, they just moved. It was supposed to be Saturday and Sunday, and they just cancelled Saturday. And when they were planning the proposal, and they told me, oh,
they had to move it to Friday.
Yeah, they had to, exactly. So when they told me that the proposal was supposed to be on the day of the shoot, so my friend, because they lied to me, it was a commercial. My friend told me, oh, you had this commercial and everything, and then I was like,
with them. Yeah, you know I was there.
And I told her, like, I'm not coming, no. I have another commercial I'm shooting. And she was like, you will not come. I said, I'm not coming. So that's why they had to move it, and everything just worked in place. And the brand is a brand I actually love, so it makes it easier to be able to, you know, talk about it. If it's something you can relate with, it's Macari. It's about skincare. I mean, I love my skin. I usually am so skeptical about trying out new things, especially products and stuff like that. But Macari is one that.
And it's evident on you. You're glowing.
Know? Yes, thank you.
The Macari glow.
You know.
You guys be paying me a free advance. Okay, so let's move to the fashion. You're also like a fashion blogger and a stylist. Do you do that professionally?
No, I don't actually. It's just something that comes. I just like mixing outfits, and to be honest, I'm not so dramatic when it comes to outfit. I'll probably be wearing a dress or a skirt and a blouse, but I just always want it to look good. And I believe people are always looking out for you. Like when you do stuff, especially when you're consistent, people look. I mean, I can't remember the last time I actually bought clothes, to be honest. Like people send me clothes, and I don't take it for granted. And I know it's also as a result of the effort I've put in. I mean, if I wear a clothes, I would make a video, I would take pictures, I would shout about the clothes, and you know, people started, you know, sending me stuff, and they're like, we want you to wear this, we want you to wear that, oh, we want you to catwalk in our outfit. And I realized, this thing, go bad, rara. So, you know, it literally encouraged me to do more. And I mean, when I wear clothes now, to be honest, that has helped me realize the influencer in me. I mean, with the social media followers, you have to definitely make the best out of it. And I realized I wear clothes, and people will go to the store, and next thing I'm hearing is sold out, and I'm like, let's do this now. Not me to wear clothes. So it has basically brought out the fashionista in me, and you know, encourage me to do it.
I just wanted to. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Do you want to go?
Okay, no, you go.
Let me compliment you, by the way. It's very evident. I like you're making a statement with this. Is it a rose,
thank you.
What do we call that?
I think so. It was made by MDU Clothing. The girl is actually in Port Harcourt, and she sent me this all the way from.
Okay, let me quickly ask you about social media, because you recently talked about it. You know how you think, because like there was someone in the headlines recently, a South African artist, and he was talking about he wants to leave social media, you know, because
the pressure it puts on people.
The pressure it puts on people. What's your take?
It does. So, social media puts so much pressure on people that you have to be able to draw the line, and you have to be able to. I think if you don't have a mind of your own, you shouldn't actually be on social media, because you would see so many things that would literally influence you, and you have to be strong-willed and know that, oh, this is who I am and this is who I am not, and everything. And yes, they could also bring you down, because just one little mistake like this, and you could actually use it to your advantage. For people like us, it has worked for us, and it is still working, and I'm still learning how to do certain stuff on social media. And I realized you can't put everything out there at the end of the day. You have to find where to draw the line and all that. But still, there's a way you can do it that people feel like they know you so much, but you know that you are not showing them everything. So that's when you have to apply common sense to the use of social media.
All right then, thank you very much. We'll be taking a quick break right now, but when we return, our studio guest, actress and TV personality Tomike Alayande, she'll be joining us as we discuss, dissect and deliberate on the stories for the day. Trust me, it's going to be really interesting. And if you miss it, you will most certainly miss out.
Thinking of banking in Africa? Think Zenith. In today's fast-moving, fast-changing world, you need a financial partner that understands your unique expectations. A bank with presence in major financial centers across the world, with the enabling platform to facilitate seamlessly, whenever, wherever, however. A bank with best-in-class financial solutions from a superb combination of technology and human touch for easy, fast and secure banking that creates real value. Turning dreams into reality is now in your hands. People, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Welcome back from that quick break. It's the morning edition of Tea Time, and if you're just joining us, we've got a studio guest who will be discussing the stories of the day with us as well. As mentioned earlier, Tomike Alayande is with us. So moving on to our first story, and it's hot, hot, hot. Now, in case you haven't heard, a friend of Meghan Markle thinks her dad faked his heart attack just to get out of going to her wedding. Ooh, it's not just drama, it's never-ending drama-rama. Good heavens. So, Tomike, you're the guest on the show. Let me start with you. Your take, your initial reaction to this story. I'm sure you've been following it from the royal wedding and stuff. And you know this guy has been talking, ever since. He's been blabbing on and off, So now this is the recent disclosure. What's your take?
To be honest, I'm not so surprised. I mean, I feel like he has been craving attention for a while, and he just wants his moment of fame. And I realized he even sold those pictures. I found out he allegedly sold the pictures for $100,000, and I'm not surprised. I mean, looking at the entire story, the saga from the royal wedding to after the royal wedding, how he said, he hasn't spoken to her, he hasn't heard from her. He keeps talking and he keeps talking, and I love the fact that they are just quiet and ignoring. And I'm expecting more, to be honest, because they say silence is the best answer. So people would always be, they would want to do more when you definitely ignore them. So I'm not surprised.
Tomike calls Meghan Markle's dad a...
I said silence is the best answer.
Exclusive.
But to be honest, it just needs to calm down. It's not that deep, and I can just imagine what Meghan is going through. I mean, that's the only person I feel for in this situation.
Do you think he will calm down though? Because up until this point,
I'm not expecting him to.
Okay. I'm expecting reactions, more. Guys?
Yeah, I'm not really surprised. I don't really believe her friend, because if it was her closest friend, then she wouldn't even be speaking to the press about their personal life.
Sure.
I don't think it's probably that close. Maybe someone within their circle.
Well, you never know. Anyone can be claiming to be anyone's friend. If I went to school with you when I was 3, I could claim to be your friend or associate.
But then even her father is speaking. I mean, so...
Exactly. This is the issue.
You know what? As far as I'm concerned, I think the whole Markle family, the other parts that were not invited to the wedding, they're all very bitter and they're all speaking right now. Because apart from this friend, maybe who felt he or she should have been invited to the royal wedding and wasn't there, is bitter and is now speaking to the press. Now, I don't even want to talk about Thomas Markle, because what he did was very... I was against it from the start when we spoke about it. Like, how can you ruin your daughter's big day like that? Selling pictures, trying to rip off. Why are you not patient? Because if she becomes a member of the royal family, you would still reap from it one way or another. So why are you now selling the pictures and all of that? So I'm even feeling that right now, so this can be a collaboration. You have friends, come and tell them that. Do you get that kind of thing? Like,
now you're the conspiracy theorist.
But let's do this. Because he is still speaking, apart from him, as half-sister, Samantha Markle, she dropped a series of Twitter rants recently, saying stuff like, why not, when they went for the Nelson Mandela tribute whatever, whatever that was. Centenary. Yeah, okay, thank you, my English girl. Okay, so when they went for that, they spoke about, she came out to say, why not pay tribute to your dad? And saying stuff like, if our father dies, it would be on you, Meg. Do you get? So everybody's trying to get, even writing a book, hiding in the covers of a Duchess. Do you get, like, everybody's just trying to rip off the girl.
Name, yeah.
And like Tomike
said, back
said,
to you again, Tomike, because you were reacting to what he was saying. You know, yes, so do you have more to add? Yes, because you
to talk. I feel the same way. I mean, it's just like a member of the family is shining and you are not partaking in that shine. What is left for you is to just try to bring the person down. That's how I perceive it. Except there is more to the story that we do not know. But from my angle, that's how I see it. And I also feel for the royal family because they're hardly ever in the limelight with,
and in the bad light
exactly,
as well.
with such scandals and stories like this. So
the Queen must be furious now.
Yes,
Absolutely.
but it's not
but they're
bad.
not
How do
speaking.
you think Meghan is reacting to all of this?
Meghan would probably be so upset, but she's a sweet girl as well. I feel like she would just ignore, although it's not so easy seeing that your family is literally doing this to you, but being the queen that she is, she just puts on a crown and just...
All right, Lakwe, you have any final thoughts?
No, I completely agree with Tomike and Ife on this one.
Okay.
It's speculation, isn't it? You don't know if the person is truly her friend or not. And the Markle side of the dad's side of the family have just been creating a whole spectacle of her.
But
private
we
life.
should.
As an analyst, though, do you think we should debunk this and dismiss it?
No,
Yeah,
no,
well-
that was what I was going to address. That I don't think we should debunk it on the ground that, okay, this man, if I was this man, I would be ashamed of the things I did during my daughter's wedding. So what they're saying is that he faked his heart attack so that he can be absent from the wedding, to avoid the shame. So it could be that too. It could just be a man who is
that's what they
remorseful
said. That's what
and is
they-
ashamed. So let's leave it at that too. It's
No,
just
because
possible.
that's what the source said. Part of what the source said was what you've just said.
Yeah,
now.
that's what I'm
yes,
saying.
that he's ashamed.
That we should believe that too. We should just be on both sides. It could be-
Lakwe is saying we should discredit it completely.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that there's a lot of elements of...
If it's too iffy for your liking,
but
we
I
need
mean-
facts, don't we?
I did
Weddings
Davido. What are they doing
Yeah.
ifs?
You're so silly.
Yeah.
But like, I think the wedding's over now. Let them live in peace.
I'm telling you.
There's no point to just, like, keep making themselves relevant. So yeah, to me, it's not really newsworthy anymore. So that's my analysis in a nutshell.
All right. Does anyone want to have a last word before we move on to our next story? If fair, I'm sure you have something to say. But hold it. It's time for a quick break. When we come back, we'll be bringing you one more story. It's a tragic story with varying elements. We'll be right back.
Free extra social data from Etisalat.
Extra data. No extra cost. Extra data. No extra cost. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. For the multi-data plan. Extra data. Da bonanza, extra data, no extra cost. Da bonanza.
Extra social data on monthly Data Plus packs.
Welcome back. It's tea time, and we're about to discuss Olympic bronze medal figure skater Dennis Ten, who dies in stabbing during a car theft. So, like I said earlier on, this is a bit of a tragic story, and he's a figure skater, and heaven bless him, I'm an absolute fan of figure skating. Tomike, I'm going to start with you again on this story. So.
You want me to start crying on set? It's a rather tragic story. I mean, to think that if there were no thieves, he will still be alive. And to think that these things don't happen in Nigeria alone, though. And I don't know, it's just really sad. I mean, you look at the number of lives that we lose to thieves and robbers and literally things that could have easily been prevented, avoided. And you're like, this guy that was actually the first to, you know, win an Olympic medal for his people, and now he's just gone. Yeah, it's rather sad.
Okay, you know what? I want to come to Ife, because Ife is usually there at these events or this incidents in person. So he would tell us the story
from the angle of
you know.
I am usually there, but this one, my sources had to use CCTV camera to tell me this, because I'm never in the sad scenes. You get when it's happening, you know. Oh, I'm there. Over to what Gilly feel like. Those ones I'm there.
Tell us what happened.
Okay, so what happened was this guy, the 10, it was the first to win the bronze medal for Russia. It's from Kazakhstan, and then it was back in his hometown. It was I think this happened in Kazakhstan. Don't quote me, but
the bronze medal?
Yeah, no, the
incident.
Yeah. So apparently, people said. Dokumbo.
Yeah, and don't worry, it's noted. It's noted.
That they saw him in an argument with two men, and then they were trying to steal his car mirror. It wasn't even the car they were trying to take. They were so petty.
I don't understand.
They were trying to steal his car mirror, and then he got stabbed, and he was rushed to the hospital, and he died. So.
That's what times.
I was thinking you would advocate, you know, that anyone trying to steal your mirror, let them take it, because it's not worth it.
No, what I was going to say is, if you have to stab me, please stab me for my car, not my mirror. That's not true.
No, but you have a car, you're mobile. If someone tried to take your side mirror now, what would you?
And then you have weapons on you. Please,
you can have it.
By all means, it's yours.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
So for you to
maybe
say
with
that,
my car,
you'd rather.
No, because I mean, you'd rather go to prison for carjacking than for taking someone's side
mirror. Do you understand? So yeah, so it's really sad, and it's so sad that people won't just be on their grind, go out there, get your hustle up, and all you're trying to do is just take from what other people have worked for.
But I tell you what,
I'll
tell you what it does show, though, is the fact that poverty exists everywhere. And you don't know in their currency, because obviously Kazakhstan is in Eurasia. It's like it used to be part of the Soviet Union. And so obviously it was once part of Russia, which was
one of those countries that got broken.
Yeah, but it was also communist, which means that there's more people that are on the same level than competing. So we obviously live in a capitalist society where we can all compete for more money, whereas there everything is equal. So there's a lot of poverty that comes with that. And as a result, you know, people are desperate. When people are poor, they're desperate, and they'll do anything. And you don't know how much that side mirror was probably worth to the guy. And I mean, in the athlete's case, he probably didn't want to be disrespected, and you know, don't take my side mirror just because they probably knew who he was and the fact that he was a bit more well off. So I think in his case, it was sad for both parties in the sense that poverty drove you to do something so petty, and someone's life was lost in the process. And the fact that, you know, he felt the need to defend himself from having that kind of attack. It's a sad situation, and unfortunately, he's lost his life as a result. So I mean, the only thing we can really say is that, you know, hopefully he rests in peace. And to anyone out there that's probably thinking of committing a crime out of desperation, think twice, because you don't know the domino effect.
This is the advocacy I was expecting from Ife. I thought he would, you know, go on and preach his message, but unfortunately,
I just passed the burden.
And then I was, you know, as I was reading this, a few people actually have reacted, and one of these skaters actually has already, you know, given his commiserations to the family and stuff. Did you by any chance see anyone else who has given their commiserations?
Apart from the Olympics, they tweeted about it. Then the figure skating committee.
Yeah, the Olympics committee.
They tweeted.
Do you remember what the president
said? They just said he was a good member of the sports figure skating, and he was calm and gentle, and they would definitely be missed. Just normal.
And he's just come up from Pyongyang as well, actually, or the Winter Olympics.
So and then the Olympics retweeted that and put who wrote that, the president of the figure skating committee, and then a lot of fans, a lot of other figure skaters also came out and tweeted about it. It's just very sad.
Tomike, I want you to have the last word before we move on. What are you going to say?
May his soul
R.I.P.
Yes, may his soul rest
to be expected, yes. So that's what we're all saying. Rest in peace. On that note, we wrap up the show. Join us later today for more entertainment stories on Afternoon Tea Time. But before then, a big thank you to my co-anchors, the entire production team. A special shout out to our stylists for the day as well, including Fumi Jenifa. You know why I'm saying this. And last but not least, our special guest, Tomike Alayande. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Tokumbo Taiwo, and I bid you good morning.
you.